Alright, today I am playing a very old game, Might and Magic VIII, Day of the Destroyer. We're gonna see if we can't make sure that the volume isn't too loud on this game.
I will battle. You could do worse.
But yeah, so this game is a very old, very unplayed game that I got through GOG, which is dissimilar to Steam. We are going to be using either the Troll or the Knight.
I will battle.
Pretty undecided. I think we're going to use the Troll since
You
the
could.
Troll
I will conquer.
is what I did on my first run of this game, and pretty fun character. I kind of have a general strategy that I use that's a little higher level and uses specific quests to get higher level characters quickly to kind of abuse certain abilities in this game, as you will see. So if you want to play the game without knowing, I don't recommend watching this, because this is more of me playing through at a kind of faster pace than is normal. But to start with, the Troll does not have any properties of spells at all, so intelligence and personality do nothing. Those can go to as low as they can. Then luck, you'll see shortly at the start that you always want to start your character with as little luck as possible to let you spend your points in other places. I am going to do something probably along these lines, and maybe I'll go one less, one more. And then you get to choose 2 skills. I always choose bow. Bow is always good because avoids taking damage, and then armor is always nice. If you choose bow and leather, you do start with leather armor and a bow, which is also very nice. So, all right. So here we are in Dagger Wound Island. We're gonna start by grabbing all the junk that's in this little crate area. I'm going to start by turning down the volume a bit. Let's turn it to that. Okay. The game itself does not actually start in WASD configuration. You have to switch it if you want to in the settings. I always do, because to me it just makes a little more sense. The first thing I start by doing is going around, drink from every fountain, and you enter every building. These portal things will be important later, as this one, as you can see, takes you to an area that I do not want to be in right now. But you have a lot of general functions in this game that I'll get into in a second. But for now, I'm going to take my first quest from Daedalus and my second from Brennick to give me my first party member besides myself. Anyway, to give you a rundown of how this game works, you have a bunch of statistics. You have a might stat, which is your output and damage, which we are maxing out as much as possible with this character, because instead of casting spells, he just deals a lot of damage. Intellect is the spell points if you're using a necromancer or dark elf. Personality is spell points for a cleric, vampire, or minotaur. So you don't ever want to have high of either of these stats, because it doesn't matter. It's only good to have one of them. Endurance, it increases your hit points, and accuracy and speed are pretty self-explanatory. Taking more turns, and then hitting more frequently. Luck's weird. Luck is basically avoidance of traps and damage, and very small, as it says in the description, subtle influence throughout the game. Those are the actual statistics you can affect. Skill points, we'll get into that matters, but for now, you start with the 4 skills that you chose. You start with 2 for each class that they give to you that you have to have, and then 2 that are your choice. Based on that, we get a few things, which is going to be this bow mace and a ring of spell points Oh good. Good thing that I use spells with this character. I'll organize all this later because he's not going to hold on to this. Anyway, moving on. As I said, the first thing you usually want to do is check out every building. Because if you press M and go to the map, once you've gone to a building, you can right-click it and it'll show you what it does if you're trying to get back to there later. So, go here. He's got a quest. We're looking for a snake idol. If we press Q, we'll see all the quests. Deliver a letter, bring a portal crystal to a guy, and bring back an idol. Every time you go in here, these are skills. The skill masters will also tell you where the other two people are. There are 4 levels of each skill: normal, expert, master, and grandmaster. Not every class can learn everything. If you are red, that means you can't learn it, so he can only be normal in bow. But if you have all the way up to grandmaster, then you can get a quite powerful effects added to each of those skills. Now, the problem is, in order to get there, you have to actually level up your skill using skill points. Currently, it's at level 1. If you want to get expert status, you need to be at level 4, and then find the person who's the expert in that skill. So, for example, this is regeneration. Before I can get Grandmaster regeneration, I would first have to get expert, then master, then grandmaster, and I would have to be at level 10 for grandmaster. However, if it's in yellow, that means you also have to be promoted, which there's a promotion quest for each of the classes in the game. Some are harder than others. So here's my first party member, Frederick, the cleric. He starts out with quite a bit more skills, a little more advanced, and some starting skill points, which is really nice. As I mentioned from earlier, there's a reason you don't want to start with any luck. This fountain can bring you all the way up to a permanent 16 or 17 luck. It maxes at 17, you can't go to 18 or higher. So there is no reason at all to take any luck with your beginning character, because you can just go right to 17. Barrels are another important part of the game. They give you a +2 permanently to any stat that is their signification. So red corresponds to might. Might is good for our character that we want a lot of might with. So we're going to go to this hut, grab another quest. As you can see, there's some barrels hiding behind there. First, we're going to grab the next 2 members of our party. This person will not be with our party for very long. She is here to basically help us survive the beginning of the game. These 2 people will be with our party forever, which is nice. We are giving all of our stuff. If you see me clicking and then the item just disappears, it's because I'm using the number keys. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 correspond with the inventories, so it's just a quick thing. So if I press 2, it just goes to the freest slot in the inventory. So this is all the stuff that I want to sell, and I just put it in a way that makes it the easiest to carry assortedly. The reason I'm giving all my sellable stuff to him is because he has Merchant, which helps adjust the prices in my favor for buying and selling. As is the description, none of the other characters I have Merchant right now except for this guy, who has it sneakily hidden at the bottom. But he has the ability to go from normal all the way to master, and this guy can go to expert. Now, I won't actually be leveling this up, which I'll explain later, much later, but for now, I kind of just generally give everything to him, and then the backups will go to this guy at the moment. This guy is the alchemist. He does not have the skill yet, but eventually you will go to a shop and be able to train him in alchemy. So I give him all of my potions and stuff, such as these empty things, and I will give him a spell points ring because he has a lot of very powerful spells to cast. Alright, I'll put these here because I'm probably going to need these for more real potions. All this junk is kind of just weird questable things with 0 value that you can sell to very specific people. I'm going to give them to the vampire because she's basically going to be my junk hauler, since I'm not going to have her for too long, and she really doesn't matter. Either way, I'm about to get rid of some of these. So I'm going to put the Hulk here. I'm not even going to bother with the brandy, as you'll see why in a second. I'm going to give the cloak over to my main character. She starts with boots, shield. So her starting armor class is already 19. This guy's is 5. So put a cape on him and put him up to 10. This guy also starts with low armor. Important to keep him. Anyway, now I'm going to go off behind the buildings, grab these barrels. Yellow is accuracy. I'm going to give that to my guy who does the most damage. Luck, we'll also put on my main guy. These guys got to go use the luck fountain, so we're going to grab that really quick. Do not be able to press spacebar and accidentally say hi to one of the locals. So, you matter the most, get you with luck, and same with you, just in case you... It's also important to have the luck skill high, because later in the game, you're going to want the luck skill, and earlier, whenever you go into a dungeon, because it affects how much damage you take from traps, and sometimes you're not going to be able to avoid taking damage from a trap. If I had the money, I would get Expert Air. As you can see here, it costs 1,000 gold. I have 200. Currently not going to happen, but we do want him to be an expert in air, and we're going to want him to be an expert in leather eventually. So here's sell the brandy. I've sold all of them that I can. Now I'm all the way up to 1,300, which is quite a bit better. I get another quest. Get the magic store on my radar. Okay, so I haven't gone in there and there, so we'll go up here. This fountain gives some intellect. It's important, in case you care, to do all the fountains, as you see this tab here shows you that the fountains get recorded so that you can always remember. So this says to a luck of 16, technically 17 because you can be at 15 when you do it. That's the healer. We're not going to worry about that. Alchemy shop. This shop is going to be important later. I'm actually not going to click it because I don't want to affect what is inside of the shop. Expert Earth, which we want for him, but he's not going to be able to get while we are here. And then finally, the last place. Alright. I'm going to save this under Troll 1. And we're actually going to save this other game as Null and Void. So we're going to have 2 saves just in case we need them. So this is the first part of the game. The reason we save is because we're going to play what's called Archimage. I always check the victory conditions because there's 11 taverns. Each of them have different victory conditions, and there's eventually a reward for completing all 11 by winning. And I save just to make sure that I win. If I lose, I just go back out and then I try again. The goal of the game is your conditions to win are either have a tower of 30, 1 resource to 100, or destroy an opponent's tower, which obviously doesn't make sense until you see. So how this game works is you have a tower and you have a wall. If you would deal damage to an opposing tower, it goes through the wall first, the remainder goes to the tower. If their tower hits 0, it's destroyed. If your tower hits the number on the victory condition, which currently is pretty low, then you win the game. You can also get any one of these resources to 100, but to get them to 100, it's pretty difficult since you only get this many of each resource at the end of your turn. Now you can upgrade that by getting cards that say, as I played, +1 dungeon will increase this, +1 magic will increase this, and +1 quarry will increase this. I like playing these play again cards because free value. The bottom right is how much the card costs. So it's hard to get high in a resource because, you know, that is a high cost. We get double wall, and I always like to play these magic, quarry, and dungeon cards first to get these higher so I can get my resources quicker. And then I just kind of play the cards that get thrown to me, but that was pretty easy. I mean, this is obviously the first place in the game, so it's bound to be pretty easy. Gives you a little bit of gold too. Purple barrel is speed. Speed we're going to want to kind of distribute a little bit. We're not going to worry about her because we're not going to keep her for very long. But these guys both have 14. He has 16. I'm actually going to give the cleric the speed in case he needs to heal someone. It's another purple barrel. Let's just give them all 16. Perfect. All right. I'm going to save once again. So in shops, I like to save before I go into them because in case I want to buy something, like there's a bow here, which I'm going to want bows. Ideally, I will load the game, and we'll just show this for reference. And when you go back in, there's different stuff in the shop. This time there's 2 bows, which is perfect. So I got lucky. But the point is that if you ever need there to be something very specific in a shop, the shop is not preset, it's not seeded like some of the newer games. It is basically random upon hitting this button. So if I just go into the store like I did earlier, it won't do anything. I just don't want to accidentally go into the store, hit something, and then see something that I, don't want. Also, I don't know why where they are on the table differs every time you go in, but apparently that's a thing. Alright, so I want to make sure that these guys learn bow. And I actually want to buy the bows. I think I have basically just enough to make this work out. Yes, so all of these people know bow now. And I now have a bow for you. And a bow for you. Actually, we're going to give the bow here, because he has some other things he can cast. I will press, so C is currently my keybind for spells. You have to have the person highlighted you want. My guy has no spells, so. This guy has dark, earth, water, air, and fire magic. Necromancers are pretty strong, one of the strongest classes in the game, probably the strongest, because they have access all the way up to Grand Master in each of these spell categories. They're the only class that can learn dark magic, unless I'm forgetting the dark elf. No, the dark elf can't. So yeah, it is very strong. There's some very strong dark spells, and the Grand Master spells are very strong. Very helpful too. So now, pressing enter switches the game from turn-based in real time. Right now, we're just kind of take the dead bodies, take the gold for free, and then snag some fights as we can. We're going to use a very powerful spell that I will probably use all games, Wizard Eye, to put on the map. Green is allies, red is enemies, and yellow is dead bodies. Okay, get out of my way.
Step back.
If you can press Y, you yell at them to get out of your way. I'm going to grab these little regents that are on the ground. It says you found item regent. If you see these little things, those are regents. We're going to need them for specific purposes that you will see shortly. I'm kind of going to just stay over here, and I'm going to just do some real-time fighting because these guys are pretty washed. I just need to make sure that I be a little careful because the lizards are here. I don't want to accidentally hit a lizard or I'll have to reset from my last save. In fact, I'm actually going to save now just in case, because hitting a lizard will get them all angry at you and I do not want that. And as I said, I just hit a lizard. So don't hit lizards. They don't like when that happens. I'm going to let the guy who's behind me hit me because he's about to die. Yep, and he just got consumed. If you kill all of these guys, the bad news is they're all going to respawn. But I mean, I guess that's good news in the sense of getting more gold and XP, but as you're about to see, it's kind of overwhelming and it's really annoying, as they just did right behind me. But I'm going to take the opportunity for them to kill all the lizards, and I'm going to take their dead bodies and run away this way because I'm not fighting all of them. This guy's already low on health. The cleric has spirit, mind, body, and light magic. Cleric is also a very strong class. Has the ability to heal people. Okay. We got some armor, some regents. Potion, awaken is terrible. Everybody has armor. This would be better than my weapon. No, it's... over here. Thistle. So he's going to ask us for all the ingredients to a potion of pure speed. So if we find enough regents, we can give him the regents, get a potion of pure speed, which will give one of my characters plus 50 speed. It's very strong. Okay. We got bow, alchemy, disarm, trap, which is nice, but don't have the ability to do. Master, identify item, and quest. Okay. So now we're going to kind of go through the rest of the island about a time and a half. I know that sounds weird, but it's basically how this is going to work. Alright, so now I have a bow. I have a few bows, so I'm going to go into turn-based, and I'm going to start shooting these guys down. Okay, I can't hit those because of the hill. Nice. So I'm kind of just fight them. If you see the hand, this means it's the end of the round where movement comes and everybody gets to move. So I can kind of just really easily. None of these guys have ranged attacks. I could just combat them, but there's no reason taking unnecessary risks because of me having the bow. I will show in a second. I'll show now. So if you do real time, the problem with real time is you could just like do this back and forth, but eventually, if you see how far away I am, now they'll start zigzagging, and your arrows will actually generally miss. So you can stay like this far away, and they'll walk in a straight line, and it makes it easier to shoot them, which I'll do now. But I'm also going to make sure I grab this so that I don't run into anybody behind me. Because that will not work well for me. And basically, we're just going to kill these guys to get some free XP. And then there's some treasure chests behind them that I'm also going to snag. Okay. I also like to use the person that has the ID items skill to grab the bodies because they can find some random loot that they might need to identify. Kind of organize a little bit better here. I usually kind of categorize. I'll explain alchemy when it matters. At the moment, I will explain just the premise. There are red, blue, and then yellow, which we don't have, and then gray regions. If I put a blue region into an empty bottle, it will make me a mana potion. Put a red one, it will make a health potion, which I don't mind making because I can always use more anyway. Now, the yellow ones will make Cure Weakness, not Cure Disease. And if you have the Alchemy skill, you can mix potions to make the other colors. And unfortunately, that is all dependent on your skill, how far you actually get with the levels of potions. So at the moment, all I can do is put a single region into empty bottles. That is about it. Alright. Finally have another bow. I give all of the items that I am interested in keeping to my first character. So right here, this Cure Disease scroll I will need. Did I accept that quest? I could have sworn I did, but we'll see. That might mean we're gonna have to go back. So hit the quests. Bring Thistle. Oh, maybe I didn't. I did not. So I gotta go find a quest that I missed. Which I'll explain in a second. But basically there's a quest where you take a bunch of Cure Disease potion, or scrolls, to the remnants of the Isle, and give one to each hut. And if you do, you just get a little bit of experience and some reward. Which is just money. Most quest rewards give you just money, which is generally fine. It, for me, is not going to matter later. Like, the further in you get, the more money becomes irrelevant, and the more experience becomes way more relevant. I mean, it's already extremely relevant in the sense that having the experience allows me to upgrade skills. Whenever you gain enough experience, which I probably already have at this point. Yeah. So once your experience is high enough that you can level up, it'll turn green, which for these guys it's not. They start at level 5, I believe. Yeah, it shows them somewhere. Where's the level? There it is. I just can't see it. So yeah, these guys are all starting at level 5. I'm at level 1. give me some free bodies. Oh, actually, there's some stuff down here. Maybe not. Well, they're about to respawn all the pirates because they were silly enough to kill all of them. Why would you kill them all, you know? Cut off one head, 2 more shall take its place kind of thing. Did I get this barrel? I did not. Orange, perfect. One we haven't seen. Orange is intellect, which, as we went over earlier, intellect matters for vampires and clerics. No, it is the opposite. Clerics, vampires, minotaurs are personality. Necromancers, dark elves are intellect. So orange goes to the necromancer. Whenever you train, it's going to pass time. So it's currently Monday, January 1st. Train 1 level, and there goes a week. Training takes time. Quite a bit of time. Time is not 100% relevant in this game. The biggest part of its relevancy is that after about a year, some of the outside monsters you've killed will start to respawn. So, I mean, I just like having them dead because it's nice for movement if I ever need to. But it really doesn't make a huge difference. Your characters also do age, and eventually, when they get to, I think it's age 50 or so, they will actually start to lose stats. Which I will make note, there's a potion that I'll get to later in the game that ages you drastically for certain effects, and you never want to use it, ever. And it's a trap, and I used it my first game, and it was a nightmare. So now we have enough money. We're going to show you how to use skill points. So he's got 15. If I want to go to 4, I got to use 2 points to get from 1 to 2, right? Then I got to use 3, and then 4. So it's a total of 9 to get from 1 to 4. And now he can be an expert in air magic, which will now put this fancy title, Air Magic Expert. And the effect varies per spell, but it generally makes the spell better. Now, to note, it will actually tell you on the spell the difference, as it says normal duration 5 minutes per point of skill, expert is 10. So it's really nice because this will help affect this, not in terms of the expert sense, but now that I have 4 skills, the spell lasts 1 hour per point of skill in air magic. So now Wizard Eye will last me 4 hours instead of 1, and as expert it will show treasure, which will appear blue. So I'm going to recast it. Get back to the numbers. Now if I had 9, I would give him expert leather. Now I will preface that you can click this early and it'll have effect. Right, as it says, the skill is added to armor class. So now my armor class has gone to 19. However, and let me just save for clarity. However, the problem is that you don't usually want to do that because you can press M and now you can see all these on the map. You kind of want to figure out whatever is around you and how much money you're going to have and whether you're going to want to upgrade X or Y. All right, here's the scrolls that I was looking for. But I generally don't like using it early because I tend to want to know what all I'm dealing with. It's not like I memorize this game. I do know a little more than the average person who would be playing this game is, as my dad showed it to me when I was a kid. So, I've known about this game for years at this point. But I'll be honest, we're all back in quite a force. And he's getting out of here. I'm not worried about picking up their bodies. It's like 5 to 15 gold per body. It's not really that meaningful in the grand scheme of things, so I don't really care. I have these scrolls, as you can see now on the map with Wizard Eye. These blue things are regents, and I really want these yellow ones because I don't exactly remember what the potion of speed requires. I'm sure that it costs some amount of yellow. I guess we'll go find out. And worst comes to worst, if I have to go back. Sorry, I have a little bit of allergies. Oh, we have enough. It used all of my yellows and all of my reds, so I had perfect enough. So as you say, adds 50 to permanent speed. Now, if I was playing this game the most optimal that I could add this to another character that I get later, who I really love to give speed to. there's a reason I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to use it now on my main character so that I can just get a kind of consistent source of DPS, quote-unquote, going. Give him more opportunities to hit in combat as much as possible. We're also going to go in here. I'm going to jump and press this. As you can see, there's pirates. I knew that because, again, I know too much about this game. I don't actually know why on the map they're not really showing up. It's probably something to do with the fact that I press enter too quickly. So, there you go. This game is old, so it is not very perfect. Not perfect. And these guys are harder to kind of kite because if I hit backwards, then I'm back here. So, they don't actually move. So I'm kind of going to do this, and I'm going to take it in real time. As you can see from the map down here, they're definitely not faster than me. So I can kind of just outrun them and then gun them. Always make sure to run when you're doing this, because you have to hold shift to actually run, otherwise they will be way faster than you. And down you go. Cool. Now, I usually don't heal until after combat unless it's absolutely necessary. Just because you want to get as many hits in as you can, because you'd rather take down the enemy and not have to take another hit than heal so that you can get hit again and have to heal again. Alright, bunch of chests. Give me some gold. Right-clicking will identify the item, if you are curious. I guess I have not explained about that. Doesn't matter. Okay, that's terrible. The gems are purely money things. Wow, this is the worst chest I've ever seen. Oh my gosh, 2 things? And then this one's just all gold. And the gold is in values of about 50. Okay. Yeah, this one is not that good. It's got a few yellow regions, which is fine. Wow, that was really it, huh? Make sure, double check. Then we sort out everything. So this is in the mace category. So I usually go to stats to check out the damage. This one's going to be pretty obvious. It's 2d4 versus 2d5, but there we go. That's the difference, right? 2 dice, so you can still roll a minimum of 1, but you can get all the way up to a 5 instead of a 4. Basic math. I'm sure that, you know, not hard to follow. Let me sort out these. All this crap. Still have no reds left, which is actually not great because I usually like to have a red region in case I run out of healing potions so that I can make them, but it's actually way better to have mana potions since he can just heal with spell points anyway. So it just gives you more versatility. Now I'm going to look at some armor. Armor class is 23, 33. Oh my gosh, 33. 19, 7. Yeah, so this guy could desperately use some armor class. So we're going to give him the cloak and the glove. We're actually, you know what, we're going to switch these guys as cloaks now. Get him to have a higher armor class. All the way up to 18 now. Because he's still at 29. Ooh. Well, thank goodness that arrow missed. Alright, green. Another new one. This one is endurance. Endurance is hit point based, so usually I kind of check where the endurances are at. I'm probably going to give him because he has got very low health. We're going to save. Go in here. Expert body magic. Perfect. Yellow fever helps with these. This first quest, you basically need 6 of these to give out to the islanders. This guy also starts with 16 skill points. We have a lot of money. This is a no-brainer. Body magic. They give it to you here for a reason. Merchant, I could give Merchant, Expert Merchant here, but I'm actually not going to touch his Merchant for probably the whole game, and you'll see why in a while. All right, we've talked to Isric for Rothnax. Man, these guys' names. Yellow Fever, give him the thing, and now we go to the final island, to which we will grab a regent. See that there is a podium. I think those show up here as well. Maybe not. Obelisks here, miscellaneous. Well, this also, by the way, this page is really helpful. It shows you the teacher locations you've already learned from all the people you run into. This just shows you miscellaneous things, which helps you with barrels in case you forget. After at least you go through them once. It shows you the fountains. Potion recipes, which when we do anything with alchemy will be relevant later. And here's the reason why you can give a pretty strong argument for taking the speed. This is a game of speed. Every character with 50 speed can succeed this one time in the game for 3 skill points. So obviously I only have one character that it applies to because I got the potion for it. And skill points are pretty much invaluable in this game. So I think it's worth doing it early just because I want to get my character's skills upgraded while I can. Blue is personality. We give the personality to the cleric. Purple is speed. Look back at speed really quick. Obviously not the troll. We will go with this guy. And orange is intellect. It's a no-brainer. Yellow fever. Yellow fever. And yellow fever. So now we have an interesting thing. So the problem is that now I don't really need to go back to these other little tiny islands anymore, except that expert bodybuilding is pretty good because bodybuilding is a skill that helps with endurance, your hit points. I generally like to, if I can, buy bodybuilding and get this to expert for him because I'll probably kill enough things that he can level up. So I might just have to take a really long walk just to do it. And it is worth it because it's extra hit points. Don't have to do it, but I'm probably going to. Okay. Alright, so we are going to go into our first dungeon. We have 1,600. Yeah, we're going to go into the first dungeon. Okay, so before I go into the dungeon, normally I like to give less to my characters. Unfortunately, since I'm not an expert in spirit magic, it doesn't affect the entire party, so I have to do this one at a time. But bless is pretty powerful. As you can see, it's going to last me an hour, which is not very long, as you will find out. But it's nice because bless helps quite a bit with your ability to hit, and it's pretty invaluable. We're going to want Torchlight is, we'll actually show you that in there. Wizard Eye still has an hour. We have that fire resistance, which is kind of irrelevant. We're actually just going to go in. When we go in, hey, I guess someone else seeks the accursed island. My name is Simon Templar. I have found my way into this temple, and I was told it was the way out. Let's travel together. Why not, Simon? He's actually pretty goated. He's also a level 5. He's a knight. He's pretty strong. He's not going to be with our party forever. Spoiler alert. But it is never bad to have an ally. So this is how dark it is. So without Torchlight, which is, wow, look at that difference. Yeah, it's just brutal. So as you can see on the map from Wizard Eye, there's a bunch of things beneath me. So this is going to be fun. These guys are always a little annoying. So we're going to kind of get out into space, put ourselves in a corner, and we still have Bless for 57 minutes. And we're still going to miss every shot, of course. He starts with the bow, which is nice. We're actually going to move this way. And we're just going to start sniping these as we go. They don't have a lot of health. They're pretty small. They do have ranged attacks, unlike pirates, so we are going to take some damage. But they tend to miss, and they don't do a ton of damage. Their melee attacks are way better than their ranged attacks. So you do not want to have to fight a ton of these. Now, at this point, this many is light work. So I don't mind if these get posted now. But that is the power of Bless. I kind of wish I saved so I could load and show you just without Bless how bad it is. I guess I did have a save. Yeah, right before I chose to use Bless. It might have been after. Either way, point being, Bless is very strong. It is really nice, especially... Oh, I can't find this place. Here it is. Especially when you know that there's going to be a lot of enemies. Alright, Alright, so the second room is kind of funny. You're supposed to get tricked into thinking, oh, I'll just jump my way across and then this platform sinks, but I already know what's going on. And as soon as you step on the ground, these doors on the side are going to open. I'm going to just stay here because I know they're there. We'll just kill all of these melee attacks. And then turn around and up. Look at those. And now these guys are coming in. This is a little more than I would like up close and personal, but you kind of have to just deal with it because there's not really a lot of space. This is also a terrible spot to equip myself in. Absolutely horrible. But fortunately, I'm pretty confident in killing these things with Bless on all my characters. Because honestly, the harder part of killing these things is just missing them, since they have more evasion than other enemies. Seemingly, I don't actually know how enemy evasion gets calculated. I'm not 100% sure of that whole system. But at the moment, you can see how we're going to get up there. You have to actually go inside and click these buttons in a sequential order. You can't really mess up because it just won't be able to be pushed until you push the right button in the right order. Once you do, drop down some stairs. Now we get to the fun part. Chests. So these two doors, with any amount of perception, which someone has perception, right? Nope. They just give it to you for free because the game likes you. You open these, and there are some chests. Here's the problem. We're going to save. They will do damage. Quite a bit. I usually reload the game if any of these guys get knocked out. That was a way better result. Tends to vary. That's where the magical luck stat comes in, which is why it's nice to have high lucks for all the characters, because it means that they tend to be lucky enough to avoid things. So, this is a quest item. We got a cloak, some boots, a scroll, anything unidentified I put with him that, like, I don't know anything about. He's already full of crap. When he gets full, I give the rest of the stuff to him. Not for any particular reason, just because he usually has an empty inventory. Okay, club not identified. Curiosities. We'll hold on to a few of these.
It's worthless. That won't fit. It's worthless.
Old scroll is something you can't really get rid of, unfortunately. So I just kind of put them with my jump character. Alright. So this is all the crap. He is the least armor still, so I'm going to give him the helmet. We can actually also check by going to the stats page. If you're ever curious what the unidentified item is, you can just put it on, take it off, and you'll figure it out. This one, you can also see, if you notice, armor class and endurance. The endurance is going to go up by 3. The armor class is going to go up by 6. So, actually, giving endurance is nice for other people since he already has a high endurance. I'm going to give that to Declare. This is a pretty good cloak. We'll just give it to him because he can look fancy in a fancy cloak. She does not have anything. I really don't care if she dies. I'm not going to let her die because it wouldn't make sense realistically, but alright. So now my torchlight is gone because it has a pretty quick expiration. And here comes a fun room. Right. So this room, always enjoyable to do. So there's a red pattern on the ceiling. That is actually where the path is. The rest of the ground is a fake ground. And beneath here, there's a bunch of those guys that we just love fighting. So I'm going to first heal, in case I fall. But at every corner of the room, there's also a chest. So we're going to get all the chests. I am going to fight the things in the ground anyway. But I'm just going to try and stick with the chest first. Okay, it's not a lot of damage. And wow, this is absolutely horrible. If you want, I guess I will show this now. If you want, You can also open the chest. And whether or not you... That was a lot more damage, wow. You can also try to get different things. I don't think it's different, as is showcased by the fact that there's nothing different. But I might be wrong. I have seen what I thought maybe was different items, but maybe it's just because I didn't remember certain items. That's a little bit less damage. But as you can see, this looks like it's all the same. So I don't think you can really cheese it, I guess is the word. So, I don't know. Anyway, nice to finally get some red regions here. Even if they're from a chest, which I'd rather take pretty much anything else from. It's gray. I got a lot of these. Alright, we'll put that there.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Can't use axes yet. Oh, but you could use this. Right? Cool. So this is where it gets interesting. So this is +4 to hit instead of +2. So this is going to hit more often. Has a higher higher floor and a lower ceiling. I actually prefer this kind of a weapon, even though this can go all the way up to 16, just because this is going to hit more often. So I feel like that also translates to damage. And even though it does less, it's more consistent in doing higher damage. But I'll hold on to this in case I change my mind for whatever reason. These hunting bows are better than the crossbows, and everybody has at least one of them, so this is useless. You can already tell there's kind of a tier with these. I'm going to give him the better cloak. This is +1, this is better. I'll show you just for proof, but, you know, quite a big difference. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm going to give it to her, even though I do not care for her. You get a hat. Alright. Yeah, I mean, honestly, when I saw my father playing this game in the past, he would actually just not take this character and just go with the 4 people, because she's basically nearly useless. But, you know, it's like vampires aren't bad. Oh, and well, now you get to see all of these guys are in a perfect stack. They're literally lined up all in order, right for me to kill them. And she's poisoned, that sucks. 1 damage, holy crap. See, this guy does 12 damage per hit. This guy does 1. Oh my gosh. I'm actually going to try to go here and see if I can lose some. I lost the ones that are hurt. The ones that are hurt, we'll try to run. Which I don't mind them running, because I'll fight less of them. This will still shoot at me. I'm not taking a lot of damage here, but being poisoned is really annoying, because I only have 1 cure poison. They're all gone. Fled. Right here. Can't even see him. There he is. He's dead. Alright. So normally, you can actually get a spell as the cleric to cure poison. I don't have that yet. So I can rely on the potion, the purple potion, to cure the poison. Now if I had alchemy of any level, I can actually mix a cure poison potion with a red and a blue, which makes purple. Wow, it's colors of the rainbow. But, unfortunately, I do not have alchemy, so I cannot do that. Which means I just gotta hope that I don't get poisoned again, which is a very likely thing considering every enemy in this place does poison damage. Or not poison damage, but can poison things. Alright. Close. And another kick. Alright. Sweet, sweet. So I guess you do get... Man, I'm just getting so many cakes. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Sometimes these guys start with rings that do nothing. They just, you know, they have them for show. They have gloves too. I guess we're going to... You get all the reject stuff. Alright, we're going to try and not fall this time so that I don't have to crawl back up. Sweet. Weird physics win in the end. Obviously, falling doesn't have any detriment besides me losing time. crawling back up. Okay. Well, we're all human, right? And now I've lost Wizard Eye and Torchlight, so everything's dark, and I can't see anything. Yeah, so I will also clarify, this guy has a really powerful spell starting in the early game. This, 15 spell points. I mean, if you look at his spell points, he starts with about 45, 50-ish, and I have him to 59 right now. I mean, this costs most of it. That's 1/4, right? You can only use this like 4 times, but on average, I'd say this does like 30 damage, so you can use it to pretty succinctly kill an enemy. I'm actually going to save. If I fall again, I might just reload. Not because it actually matters, but just because it's quicker. Alright, yeah, I mean, if you wanted to see me walk up the stairs about a bazillion times, then you come to the wrong place, because I do not want to have to do that, because it's annoying. There we go. Yeah, see, I don't know how I actually made that, but I made it, so. It also doesn't really matter. I always choose this guy to open the chest. I don't know if it actually matters. I kind of think maybe I like to believe that on average the person who opens the chest takes more damage, which is why I give it to the person with the most health. Oh, that is absolutely amazing. Well, speaking of not having cure poison potions, that is phenomenal fine. Absolutely phenomenal fine. We're also going to use all of his spell points to heal before we actually use potions, just because you never know when you want to have a potion. Obviously, though, kind of dwindling. It does only cost 2, but we're going to restore some of that. Yeah, this is the game. Oh man. Alright, save. And see, this is where, so okay, perfect example. This is where I wouldn't save it, because there is a chance, quite high chance, but most likely usually to actual combat, that if you go unconscious, your armor breaks, which you can repair it at a shop. It's not broken forever. But I don't even want to risk it. Now, obviously, his armor didn't break, but it still requires a lot of healing. Very annoying. Not going to worry about it. I'm just not going to deal with it. Another poison move. Wow, that's nice. That's trash, trash, and trash. Remove fear. It's kind of relevant. Although, I just never use the scrolls. Like, I just... I know it sounds stupid, but I just can't be bothered. Like, I mean, maybe it's silly, because scrolls do have some power to them, but, I mean, they just don't do enough for me to actually care about thinking about all the scrolls that I have. Alright, so this room... Oh, I try to open the door, and it's a trap. All you have to do is go around to these 8 snakes around the room, press the space bar on them, touch their eyes, and would you look at that? I stopped it. I'm a good magician. Alright, so I'm gonna put on Wizard Eye. As you can see, we've got enemies here actually. But we're not gonna worry about them right now. We're actually gonna deal with them last, and you'll see why. I'll show you. There's a bunch of enemies in here. Shooting a lot of crap. Yeah, so this isn't that many in front of me, so I don't mind really dealing with this. I'm sure that I'm going to get poisoned by one of them and be annoyed, but... just get me out of range of these other ones. Wow, he just like double died. guys are snipers. They don't even have plus on anymore. Alright, well, these guys are stuck in the wall. Yeah, unfortunately this happens a lot in this game where you want them to stream out like one by one, but really what happens is they kind of just get clustered in a weird like jank clump. And so the only real way to actually like effectively do it is to go in there and then run back out, which is kind of what I did. Wow, that just killed all of them. And then when you do that, of course, you have to fight all of them at once, which is not ideal. But man, this torchlight does not last long. All right. I should also note, which it's gonna matter more for the next type of enemy we face, that there are 3 classifications of enemies. I'll explain what that means in a second. But anyway, all these red things are traps. I'll show off one of them because I don't want to take too much damage. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll save it, and then I'll just load after I get hit. Yeah, so that hit me. Shooting poison at me. Shooting fire at me. Etc. So you're like, okay, don't touch the traps. But then, if you talk to a random specific guy on the island, you learn that apparently that's not a trap. It opens a chest in the wall. Honestly, if I was playing this for my first time and I didn't know, I would never have guessed. You know? It has 1 item, and it's just a quest item, which in essence is worth experience and gold. I actually don't need these anymore. I've used them all on the things I need, so the rest can get sold. Heal up a bit. So yeah, we still have skipped an area, as you can see, with all those enemies teeming at the door. There's a reason. I will explain. But first, before I do, let's fight the last little chortle enemies in here. Oh, hey! Bet you weren't expecting me. So these are serpent men. They are kind of like the second tier of the little snake things. We have serpent men elder, which is 1 classification. We actually got unlucky for example purposes. I mean, I don't mind seeing only the elders up here, to be honest with you. There are 3 types. There's going to be Serpent Man Elder, and Serpent Man Warrior. And each of them have a different amount of damage, a little bit of different capabilities. Sorry, I was we're going to just load them up. And then we'll put some more models. Okay. Alright. So, we wanted to kill those enemies because, as you're going to see, there is a lot of enemies we're going to be fighting. And just in case, and it's probably not going to happen because I kind of know what I'm doing, and I know some cheese strats, just in case we just have too much to handle, I don't want to have to fight enemies to fight my way out. So usually I like killing those enemies first so I have a clear path to escape, in case need be. So this is Serpent Man Warrior, as you can see, a little bit different in the health bar. Unless you take the ID monster skill, you're not going to see any of the stats. But they do a lot more damage, and they hurt. And they can poison you. Similarly, the Coatls have Winged Coatl, Young Coatl, and Winged Serpents. So yeah. So at this point in time, this is where we might start to use some spells. I don't really have anything right now, so I'm probably gonna try and save his spell for this guy. Is the goal. So I gotta actually kill the things that are pulling up. Oh, perfect. Just wanted to show up. Well, we're gonna use the ever powerful 41 damage Toxic Cloud. Yeah, it does a lot of damage. So these guys you don't really want to be too close to because they will do quite a bit more damage than these tiny little things. Alright, unfortunately this is kind of where you draw the line though, because I don't accidentally back into the I guess the pit is closed. Whatever. Either way, it's not a big deal. Not a lot of enemies. This guy's running away from me? Well, I guess find you later. And here is Serpent Man. So we had Serpent Man, Elder, Warrior, and this is just little baby guy. Right? Alright, pick up the bodies. He's running away. I'm not worried about it. You know what? Let's just do a snipe him. Snipe him from across the room. Where are you? Oh my gosh. I can't see him. I see him now. It's like all the way over here. Okay, whatever. He'll die later. Alright. This place is a nightmare. There's basically about 1 million rooms. And I generally try to do all of them because you just want the experience. It gets very tedious. I'm going to try and breeze through it as quickly as possible. Every single space room like that will have one of these guys, which is too slow to actually kind of matter if you just know how to space it right. It's so unfortunate, right? Man, it does not feel like it sometimes. Anything but the actual big ones of these. Like, I don't like having them right next to me when I can also just choose not to have that, but I don't necessarily mind. He's not gonna kill me. He's not even gonna do that much damage. So I'm not super worried about it. I try to go the wrong ways first. Oh, I guess there's nobody there. I try to go the wrong ways first so that I can actually kill everybody as quick as possible. There's also a sweet spot in this game that I'm not really good at, but I'm kind of hitting it right now, where I can melee him, but he won't be in range to melee me. I don't necessarily know why that is. I think it was just a small oversight in game design, but there's just this tiny range, and when that occurs, it's like magical Christmas land, because your melee attacks are most often stronger than your ranged attacks. Currently, actually, for most of these characters, bow is better, but oh shoot, that is not what I wanted to see. Okay, well, we're just gonna deal with this because yeah, I do not want him there. Eventually, you'll see me get hit by one of those guys. Maybe not, hopefully not. But when you do, you will see that if they hit one of my weak guys, they will take absolutely 1 million damage. And oh god. Alright, well, see, he was in that sweet spot. That's why I couldn't hit him. Because he's definitely faster than, like, the majority of my characters. This guy's just in the wall. But yeah, when you hit this sweet spot, which I try to aim for, because it just also makes things quicker. But when you do, it's really nice. It gets things dealt with nicely. So there you go, he's in range. Yep, he went from here to there. Okay, that's how it goes. Basically, if I didn't know that, fortunately, the fat ones are super slow, I knew that I'd be out of range when I backed up. But if I didn't know that, I probably would have had to heal because another shot and he's gone, you know? Open up this next area. He's just an elder, I don't care about you. Yeah, the starting dungeon's not that bad. We're gonna get to the crazy room in a second, though. Okay, I was not expecting that one to be, but that's fine. It is the wrong way. I do not know which way is the right and wrong way. I'm just kind of, I go through all the moves. Like, if I went the right way, I would eventually go back and take the wrong way. Because, again, it's experience that you're going to want. It's also more fun to do dungeons than overworld killing in this game. Oh my gosh. Alright, he missed. guys thoroughly. It's kind of just a slog. There's not really a lot to say. It's just kind of like shoot, 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 kill, 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 bop, 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 XYZ, ABC. Just deal with what you can. Oh, snipe him. Oh no. And then every now and again you go so fast that you forget to move, and you get lucky because he didn't get a turn. And then we get to the big room. Now, it's kind of funny because when you like think about the original intent for this design, you can clearly tell that what they wanted to do is, oh, you walk into the room, you see 4 doors, just choose a door and you pray. So normally what you should probably do if you're playing this game normally is you press enter, put it in turn base, you open the door, oh, there's nothing there, cool, I got lucky. Or, oh, there's a big serpent guy there, I got unlucky. The reality is that as soon as you walk into the room, you actually know exactly which is the right way to go. So, I mean, it's... I don't necessarily understand. Like, did they have this game play tested and people just decided to say, alright, well, you know what? They can still just not read the map on accident, maybe. I mean, they saw through the foresight of concealing with Wizard the red dots behind the rooms, which actually takes effort because, as you'll see, you can see red dots in rooms ahead of time most often. But they did it in this specific circumstance to hide and veil that fact. And yet, despite doing that, they didn't actually fix the bigger problem, which is showing you which room goes where. So, if you don't care to kill all these guys, it's pretty easy to figure out the right way. All you really have to do is guess right at this first part. As soon as you guess right here, then the long path is always the correct path. And of course, me sitting there talking wastes minutes of game time. Now, well, again, I let him go right next to me, but apparently I'm just too clever. And we get to the last area. Oh my gosh. These guys are also really good. I don't really care about these guys. Yeah, I mean, I actually have a pretty high armor class on everyone. These guys are probably never going to really damage. It's really just the warriors that I'm worried about at this point. Oh my god. Well, not even enough time to turn on turn base. He just can't. Oh my. They're going right through the wall. What? They just came right through the wall. Oh my gosh. That was horrifying. I literally had no warning. I didn't even see them on the map. They just literally came right through the wall. That's so funny. Don't do that again, guys. Oh, well, am I gonna get hit by it? I am not. Yeah, the other thing is, which I actually find cool, because they did it similarly to like a normal D&D kind of thing, you do have a surprise round, which is really interesting that that's factored into this game. But if you basically like, if you go up an elevator, or open a door while in turn-based, it will take a turn for the enemy's turn to actually be registered. So for example, I'm gonna show you proof of this by standing right next to the door, hitting enter, and hitting the button. That button has nothing behind it. Perfect example. Hit enter, hit the button. This game loves me. This game really likes me. Well, I guess I won't get to show that here. And I probably won't remember it elsewhere, so oh well. Alright, so yeah, look, there's a nice room or reward at the end of all this. I wonder what could be in there. not infinite enemies, right? In Ran Out of Wizard, I had to show proof that it's actually legitimately every enemy in the game. Yeah, that is an absurd amount of enemies. And in response, we tried to bait a few of them in the hallway. Yeah, we're kind of just gonna like hope that they come in a little bit at a time. So again, it's usually pretty hard for you to get lucky enough that a little of them come at a time. But in this specific hallway scenario, it's a little easier because of just how the ramp physics work on this area, as you'll see when we actually go through. Looks like a strike. Ah! Yeah. Trying to beat him out a little bit. Yeah. Oh, did not see you. Gotta check my map more. Alright, we're getting to the point where there's almost like... There's much less left. And a lot of them are these guys. I'm just gonna go in there. Guns blazing. Yeah, the rest of these guys are just kind of falling down. I'm actually just going to press enter really quick. Go here and then press enter again. These guys have not been packing much of a punch. I've just been getting too many capes. Get the extra armor class, I guess. Let's go here. The water will not kill you. There's just water, I guess, because that's where they like to live. This has been an embarrassing showing for the Superman Warrior. Normally this guy gives me quite a painful showing. Not this time. I will say another very interesting note about enemies in this game is that they actually have a weird targeting system. Also, by the way, big reward, a book. It's actually a pretty big reward. It is the easiest, in my opinion, promotion quest. Basically, we just have to bring this book to a person. They'll go, wow, you found a book in a place with level 1 to 5 enemies. And okay, I guess all of your clerics can be promoted now. Go figure. Anyway, aside from that, the enemies have a very interesting targeting system in this game. They have bias. Oh, here's this guy. Forgot about you. Goodbye. They have a biased system, and when I say biased, I literally mean that they will basically have specific races they don't like. So, like, trolls don't like ogres, and ogres don't like trolls, necromancers and clerics don't like each other. And they will literally target them specifically out of the way as much as possible with, like, increased efficacy. So, it's kind of interesting. Also, that took us all day, 7:36 p.m., which means we cannot go into any of the stores. They are open from 6 to 6. But we will go finish our quests. We do have the idol. We do not care about that. We are done with you. We have seen your brother. Thank you for the potion. Oh, we should give this guy luck. Before I forget. And there is a well like that in every place. So, I mean, this guy I started with, you know, no intellect or personality. So, it's not going to matter. Eventually, I'm going to find one for each of those. Alright. So, we need to actually... We'll have to go back to him. This doesn't matter. So, what quest do I have to do? Okay, I got to return to Iceland. And that's it. So, I got to just find Iceland's hut. Oh, Iceland's hut. There you go. Look at that. What are you doing? Get out of my way. Cranky lizards. Alright, we're gonna go other side of the building. And we are going to take a day to
Enjoy
rest.
your room.
Get everybody a nice little sleepy. Get some wizard eye going. Alright. Now before we leave this accursed land, a few things we want to have happen here. Looks like we got a lot of money. We're gonna blow through that real quick. Learning. Step 1. We don't care about him because we're not gonna use him. Learning is a very important skill. Absolutely vital. Even if you don't actually use this skill in too much more efficacy, it will increase the bonus, a bonus of experience. So it shows you here, but you know, 5 skill points would turn 100 experience into 114. Expert doubles, master triples. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And this guy, he can learn. He can learn. Problem is, where you get expert learning is actually really annoying. So it takes you a while to get this, but you want that skill at least at a minimum, because even 1 learning is still a static increase. Alright, so we're gonna save. Go to my guy. We need... let me just show. So every single category of basic spells, so fire, air, water, earth, mind, spirit, and body, all of those 7 have 4 spells at normal, 3 at expert, 3 at master, and 1 at grandmaster. So right now I have 2 out of 4 fire, 2 out of 4 air, and 0 out of 4 of these. So I'm not going to be able to get them all. That'd be pretty lucky. That's actually pretty possible, but we're going to try and get them all.
I can't carry anymore.
Right, he's full of junk. Okay, so we're going to sell that first. And it's kind of annoying because usually I try to save to make sure I get the right things. But
I just don't know.
all right, you don't want to sell these unidentified, but it's okay. It's okay. Give these to the person who actually gets a bonus from selling.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll just keep that with him for now. Yeah, so I don't care about these guys, but I will just give him all of the skills. Because again, you know, my guy starts with pretty much nothing, so he's got to get him over time. Your starting character just has literally nothing in his tank, so.
That's your gear.
Alright, we're also going to progress the game by quite a bit of a time. It is the 10th. 3, 4, 5. And we're going to give you Arms Master Bodybuilding. Arms Master Bodybuilding. And that's it. So now, it was the 10th. It is now February 6th. But we need these precious sweet skill points, so that now we can look at the map. Grandmaster Regen, Expert Air, Expert Leather. So I will also say, so he can level up. They can all level up. Problem is, with your skills, you should be working here as a teacher. Unfortunately, this place can only level you to 5. So I can't actually go higher than that, which sucks because I really want to get him to more skill points so that I can get Expert Earth while I'm here, because it's actually really nice to get. But unfortunately, that is not how this works. We're gonna go, oh, I did not mean to do that. Did not mean to do that. That's alright. I'm not gonna go back in time. I know that my save isn't too far away, but it's not really the end of the world. My starting character, like the knights and trolls, really, like, if you miss things, in terms of what they actually get leveled up, it's not too bad. Dagger Wound Oddities goes to you.
I don't know this.
Unidentified. Alright, so all the junk is sold.
Terms of knowledge here.
Alright, so we need fire resistance. We have torchlight, we have fire aura. Alright, air, we have featherfall, we have wizard eye, we need air resistance and sparks. Earth, we need 4, we need stun, earth resistance, slow, and deadly swarm. And water, we need poison spray, awaken, water resistance, and ice bolt. And here comes the library that he is about to learn.
A useful tool.
Just straight feeding
A
him.
useful tool.
We accidentally gave him one of them.
Knowledge is
Holy mackerel. Alright, and now we got 4, 4, 4, and 4. Most of the spells, I'm rarely going to use. This spell, rarely going to use. This spell, rarely going to use. Like, for the most part, pretty rare uses for all of those spells. However, it never hurts to have. Sometimes there's niche uses. Sometimes I scroll through the spellbook praying that I have the thing that I need, and then realizing that it's not at all beneficial to me. But, oh, right. One more thing that I have to do. As I said earlier, there's unfortunately one big problem. So, this guy's 9 points, and this guy has 9 points. And there happens to be one thing that you can get expert in. It's kind of in a really annoying place. I actually should have gotten with the cleric earlier, but it doesn't really matter because I'm going to have to go back there no matter what. I'm going to just... You guys aren't going to hurt me because you're trash. Let me turn Wizard Eye back on though. Just for fun. Look at all the more bodies. I mean, even if that was 30 dead bodies, we're talking at most like 500 gold, which is like nothing. I'm not gonna sit there picking through dead bodies for 500 gold for 2 minutes. Money is eventually gonna become really, really irrelevant, which will be figured out later. Get the regent. Yeah, the unfortunate problem here is I gotta go all the way to this temple, and then to get to the next portal, I either have to go all the way back through the temple itself, or walk all the way back the way that I came. Really annoying. Really frustrating. But it is worth it because... Good thing I didn't touch this. He can only go normal. It is very worth it, though, to get this guy to expert bodybuilding. I mean, it's huge. Like, we're talking, now he's at 131 hit points. Look at the hit point difference here. Like, look, that is ridiculous. I mean, this guy's level 5 as well, but... Oh my gosh, it's absurd. Like, what's his endurance? 17. It's not a huge difference in endurance. It's just, bodybuilding is a huge difference maker. So yeah, I have 9 points. I could put him on expert merchant, which would be nice because it would accrue the money back that I spend on merchant. Problem is, I don't really care. I care more about the experience and the skill points. So I'm not actually going to do that because I would much rather get him an expert in something like Spirit, which will come up in the next town we visit. Because Spirit, when he's an expert in that, I can just give my whole party Bless, which saves me like 17 clicks. You know that the only thing that actually matters is time. Not that it's a speed run, but you know. I actually don't want to have to cast the spell Bless for 5 times every single time I go into a dungeon. And then, I have to recast it in the middle of a dungeon. I'm not going to cast it 5 more times. Grab these bodies, why not? Bro, watch out, you're about to shoot me. Dude, he missed. He missed anyway. All that for missing. Alright. And we are coming to a close for this first part of the game. There is a hidden boat dock here, which they hid because apparently they're scared of the pirates stealing their ship. So the Windling pays $75 to take a trip to Ravenshore. And this also doubles as a pause feature so that I don't have to worry about time. As I say that this is the end of our first episode, we will deal with more to come on Ravenshore next time, and we will get a fiery companion.